For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Godfrey is the latest comedian to ask for a stop to all of the black comedy hate that has been going around lately. Now this comes after his latest back and forth with fellow comedian Kountry Wayne. While on Club Shay Shay, Godfrey would respond to what Wayne had to say regarding Faison Love only being able to perform in comedy clubs. Godfrey's stance on the issue was that many established comedians, even ones with Netflix specials, still work out new material in local comedy clubs. Well, Wayne caught wind of what Godfrey had to say and responded via a social media video. It looks like Wayne may have misinterpreted Godfrey's words as a diss because Godfrey would respond to Wayne's video on his own social media in an attempt to clear the air between the two. Let's take a look at these clips.
Well, Godfrey and all the other comedians who've been hating on me a long time, let me tell y'all something. Every comedian to me funny. Now, if you want some advice on probably why you never gained that audience, the audience you speaking to just ain't the proper audience. Bro, if you been in this game that long and that audience ain't came to you yet, switch it up, my boy. It's subject matter, and your subject just don't matter.
I said Kountry Wayne, I love his hustle, but I disagree on him when he talked about comedians being in comedy clubs. Later on in the interview, I said it's unfair that Netflix is giving specials to people who are not ready. That is what I said. That's what I meant, because he paid for his own special. He licensed his special to Netflix. That's why I am raising money to do my own special so I can license it out. That's why I have a GoFundMe.
Today we've got special guest John Abba to talk all about it. A lot going on in comedy world, a lot. I want to take this piece by piece because we have a lot to cover in a little bit of time. First, I want to get your reaction. Those two clips coming out, the responses. What's your reaction to what we're seeing play out?
I mean, I think it's interesting, to see this kind of be the norm now. Yeah. It seems like every week someone's got a problem with somebody. And, us on our end, as far as an outlet, it kind of gives us something to talk about. But I think it's a little bit also, I think the audience is getting tired of it because I'm kind of a little bit like, man, at one point it used to be exciting. Yeah. But now it's happening so much, it's kind of not as exciting no more. And now it's like a bunch of and I hate to say this, a bunch of men just kind of like complaining about different things and not directly handling stuff. So that's my biggest takeaway from it. It's like, damn, I'm just seeing like a bunch of brothers coming up, just they have an issue with that, they have an issue with this. And I don't know if that's what the audience wants to see. And y'all can put it in the comments below, but I don't think the audience wants to see that every week. Yeah.
And it seemed like it's happening more, especially in comedy. Looking at the two clips, do you think there was some misinterpretation of what was being said, or do you think, two guys just kind of feel how they feel?
From analyzing it, Godfrey went on Shannon Sharpe's platform, and he gave Wayne his flowers. Then he said like a but. Sometimes when you say a but,
it kind of erases everything.
That kind of erases it, and it's like I'm about to say something that might feel like a slight. And I think he was more so just analyzing and standing up for his boy Faison. Clearly him and Faison probably have a history over Kountry Wayne. And it seems like he was trying to he might have been triggered too by if the statement was, hey, if you just in comedy clubs and you ain't really doing it, that probably triggered him because I can't imagine that most of Godfrey's work probably comes from comedy clubs. So it probably hit home like, oh, while you was going at Faison, you kind of like, I got a straight bullet too. Yeah. And so I think that's what we saw play out, where he wasn't trying to bag on Kountry Wayne. I think he was more so trying to stand up for himself and kind of, correct that and be clear about it because it might have been a problem for him. And then on Kountry Wayne's end, knowing what Kountry Wayne has done to the comedy game as far as his rise, being a new guy, it looks like he's probably also, on edge and feeling like people are always coming after me in defense mode. Clearly because people do talk about him. People have said he's not funny. People say I don't watch your stuff. He's probably getting that all the time. So any small little bit of a but probably feels like big for him. Because at the end of the day, we don't know how much work that brother puts into, how much grind, how many people he's helping employ. Because I can also kind of relate to the energy of running our platform on this end is how much you're kind of doing that people don't see. They might only see me right now, but they don't know how hard I'm working behind the scenes to keep things moving forward. And so I think with Kountry Wayne, if he's in that same predicament, he's probably also man, there's so much that I'm trying to do right. So when I get a slight, it feels really big for me.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we saw play out.
Yeah, I think that's great perspective because when I watched the Godfrey interview, I appreciated him coming in and saying like, okay, I'm going to say this, correct me if I'm wrong. Like he kept saying like, if I'm wrong. And he even said like, he felt attacked a little bit, but he was like, correct me if I'm wrong. And then, once Shannon Sharpe would correct him, he was like, oh, okay, like I took that wrong. But speaking of Faison Love, him going on to kind of defend Faison Love, obviously, I want to get your thoughts around that because that's where the conversation kind of started, where Kountry Wayne was pretty much saying Faison Love is one-dimensional, like he can only stay in comedy clubs. What are your thoughts there about Faison Love? Because he is always a topic of discussion. As you heard Shannon say, everybody always talks bad about Faison Love. What are your thoughts?
Faison, man, you are so talented, but I think these controversies are overriding your talent and your resume. I remember the times we used to talk about Faison was like him being in movies and the stuff that he's doing. He would kill roles. But all this other stuff, this petty stuff, it's becoming like your business card at this point. Like people are gonna reach out to you because they want to like start some drama and they know you with it. Now, I'm not saying that you can't be yourself because clearly I think Faison is being himself because he's so consistently doing these things, speaking out, and I think we need people to shake things up, especially on our end as a press platform. I just don't think that he needs to put too much eggs in that basket. He needs to balance it. So I want to see, the next time I hear about Faison, I want to hear about a role that he killed, that I know he can kill. And I think that's just the issue that I'm kind of like constantly looking at is like, damn, Faison, there he go again. And just I think as an OG, we kind of need to show more examples of how do you really create longevity in this game? Because he's a maverick. He's been in the game for a minute, and he's got some real hit roles like movies and stuff that he's been with. I even met Faison when I was a youngster. A little fun fact about John Alba, he used to be a child actor on the low, and I met Faison in person, and he was like a great vibe, a great energy. And so, that was my impression of Faison. And right now, all I hear is the dramas and stuff that he's into. That, I'm not saying we got to end it. I think we got to balance it, though. Yeah. Give me some drama. We'll take it. We'll talk about it on the show. But I also want to talk about, after we talk about you, y'all go catch Faison Love in theaters at,
Do you think that's the challenge for him? Maybe he's not, and again, I don't know, this is just a question, but do you think maybe he's not getting those roles because of all the controversy that comes with him, because he is so outspoken, because Faison is going to speak his mind? Do you think maybe he's just not getting those opportunities?
That's a great question, because I think a lot of times, a lot of us think about that. How outspoken can we be?
Yeah.
Because we don't want to offend the wrong people, because we want to, be political. So I think to a degree, it probably impacts some of Faison's moves.
Yeah.
I also think about some people, at the end of the day, if it's for a movie role, I just need you to kind of kill this movie. But I do think that some people might feel afraid or like, one thing I used to be fearful of on our end of like doing business with people that were very outspoken.
Yeah. Because
I'm always fearful of like, if the business goes wrong, they're gonna put me on Front Street. So some people would shy me away from reaching out and working with them because I'm like damn, if it goes wrong or something happens, they're gonna air us out.
Yeah.
And I could imagine that's probably impacting some of Faison's orbit, but he's so talented enough that I think that people still might ride that wave. Look at Cat Williams is a great example of that.
That's exactly what came to mind. Yeah, no, and I would love to see Faison Love on the platform, so definitely want to reach out to see if, we can get him on the platform, because like you say, he is very talented.
Yeah.
So I would love to see that as well. Now, there was something that Kountry Wayne said that I kind of want to go into, because we're in this new age, especially because you've been in the game for a long time too. Like you've had this platform for a while, and you've kind of seen things unfold, especially when we talk about in a social media platform.
Yeah.
Something he said is, and obviously it was a shot, but I want to take it and actually bring it into a conversation about the subject matter not mattering. What are your thoughts on that advice from Kountry Wayne? Because obviously he gave that advice to, Godfrey and everybody that was hating on him, but I think that could probably be something that's just in general. What are your thoughts about that advice?
I think it shows that Kountry Wayne is probably smarter more so than he is talented. And being smart could be a talent, but I think he's probably a really great businessman. And I say that because I think sometimes we as Black creatives, and that's a lot of us, we're all very creative, we don't have sometimes the discipline to be able to pivot and create system, because those things are not necessarily as fun. Like, it feels good to release a vision that I had to create, to paint something, to sing a song, to write a rap bar. But I think the issue with us is that we don't lean into the system creating part of it. And so I'm kind of like, might be going a little bit off because I wanted to get this off.
Yeah.
That if we put more focus into creating a system, I'm gonna take Instagram for an example. Instagram has a system. We are the creators of Instagram, and we make Instagram go, but we don't own the system, nor do we be the ones that profit off it the most. And I think the issue with us is that we love to kind of just create and we get stuck there, but we're not the ones behind the scenes just kind of like, okay, I'm gonna give you the arena to play in, but you don't own the arena.
Right.
And I think if we kind of move out of a place to try to tie back into Kountry Wayne to where we can make pivots, where we can kind of like turn off the good feelings and the non-discipline and really kind of get disciplined and say, hey, if the subject, it's about subject matter, he said, and your subject don't matter, which is like The Rock kind of a bar back in the day, like can you smell what I'm cooking type shit.
Yeah.
That was dope, Kountry Wayne. I might run with that. But I think he was saying like, hey man, you've been doing this for so long, whoever this is, clearly social media is becoming a wave. Clearly I'm able to entertain 100,000 people while you're trying to fight to get 300 people in a comedy club. We need to be able to, you need to look at the facts.
Yeah.
You need to look at, hey, if you're still struggling to get those few hundred, what is it that you're not doing right? Because right now some of us act in, in habit. I'm gonna do what's comfortable.
Right.
And I think the ones that really rise to the top are the ones that are able to get uncomfortable and make the pivots when necessary. But yeah, you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And even when I think about like a Godfrey, like hearing him say like, oh, he would start thinking, he gave love to Kountry Wayne for raising his own money for a special. And he talked about how he was gonna do, or he has a GoFundMe. I feel like Godfrey is extremely talented. And I think it would make sense for him to have his own audience that's just like riding for him like we see a Kountry Wayne. So one, to see these two guys going back and forth is definitely unfortunate. Like I said, it's good for entertainment, but it's just so much they can learn from one another, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think you made a good point. Like, if I was a dude, and this is me as a comedy fan, so Wayne, you said don't put people in your mouth, but I'm a comedy fan, so I could get the comment on this. I think talent for talent, I think Godfrey's more talented than Kountry Wayne. Like talent for talent.
Right.
But I think Kountry Wayne has a better system, and I think he's probably a better businessman, which is why he's able to scale and do all the things he's doing.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do that. And that's kind of goes down to us in history. Like when white folks took advantage of us, they weren't more talented than us. They just had a better system and a better business. While we was just saying, yo, I'm finna write this dope bar, put my emotions in it. Yeah. He slid you that paperwork and he owned your damn song. Meanwhile, you just ready to get it off and perform it. So I think with Kountry Wayne, I think that's the difference of those two guys is like, one is really like the dope artist, dropping the bars, dropping the 16s. The other one is Drake, where he's like, I'm gonna package this shit up because I'm going pop. And that's always been a thing, like the old school way of doing it versus the new school. And so I think that we just have to be able to process that. And I think Godfrey can learn from Kountry Wayne, and I'm sure that Kountry Wayne can learn from Godfrey because Godfrey can write and he's been doing dope stuff for a while. And I think just to speak about competition, I'm a big person about competition. I love competition. Yeah. It thrives industry. That's something I read in Forbes long ago. And because I think sometimes we'd be like, no, we shouldn't compete. Let's all get along. I'm not like that. I'm just like, I'm not about stupid competition. I'm not about, I'm finna tear you down and me down, and then we not both scaling. I'm about, yo, let's move off the energy, but I'm kind of throwing you an alley-oop and you kind of throwing it back. I'm about being smart with it. If we gonna go toe to toe, let's put some prize money up that we both can win at the end. I'm about that type of competition. And I think with the comedy game, there's really no way to like grade these comedians.
Right, because it's all subjective.
It's all subjective. Everyone's kind of like, oh, do you find this person funny? No, so I think a lot of the frustration that these comedians are having right now are the fact that there's no real way of like measuring like that they're better than the other. It can only be fed off of public opinion. Gotcha. And it feels like I have to now defend myself or claim that I'm better than you by taking a shot at you. Yeah. But if there was a way to like really grade scale it and be like, oh, he's ranked number 1, he's ranked number 2 in like a point system, I think that could help it. But it's like you have this energy of competition, but there's no way that it's like funneling. There's no clear path to kind of do that. So it like becomes like a bomb like exploding, you know, which was maybe a Cat Williams was a representation of that. They don't have a way to really get off. It's like confused competition. There's no real way to like, I can't drive. There's no system in place
for that energy to go.
To go. Yeah.
Because there's healthy competition.
Heck yeah.
Businesses do it all the time, and most times on the front end they're competing, but behind closed doors they're also helping one another.
Yeah.
Like there's a way to help one another and still, you know, have that healthy competition. But I like the way that you phrase that. Last question, because I know we got to wrap things up now. And I want to kind of bring this to our platform as well, because I like having real conversations, going in the comments and actually hearing from the people that we're talking to. Shannon Sharpe has been a big conversation about whether he's healthy or not for comedy. And then I know we recently did an interview with Tasha K, and she kind of said what she said about Shannon Sharpe. And then for our show, and I'll just be transparent, like I brought to you like, hey, I want to talk about Shannon Sharpe because I'm curious as to like why so many people are blaming him. Like he's the one that's just like, oh, I'm gonna start the fire. So I want to get your thoughts around that entire conversation of Shannon Sharpe, especially when you have people in our comments talking about, well, weren't y'all just bashing Shannon Sharpe with Tasha K, but now y'all showing him love? And what are your thoughts there, especially coming from the platform?
Well, the beauty of Comedy Hype is that we represent all voices. That's what we're really doing, like a real news platform. Yeah. We're gonna cover all perspectives. So Symphony and I, if you watch us, we don't always see eye to eye. Yeah. But the platform is built to push her perspective. The platform is built to push my perspective. So that's that one addressing it, where Symphony can have her own opinion and her own viewpoint, and people on our team can have their own viewpoint. It is not a dictatorship of like, y'all gotta see it this way. And I think to address the Tasha K interview, if you kind of watch and listen to it, I made some different, like, I think my questioning kind of was like subtle, like little jabs his way. But I think it was one in good nature. And it wasn't really me ideally like bashing this man. It was kind of the person that we were talking that was doing most of the talking. Right. So I think we got to know how to differentiate who's involved. Just because I'm on the camera with this person doesn't mean that I'm aligned with that person or you didn't hear that come from me. However, in regards to Shannon Sharpe, so you can hear from me, I think that he is someone that has been a good situation for comedy. Yeah. Because when we started this company, my whole thing was that I wanted comedians to be respected just like the ball players and the rappers, and like people understood that it's a real culture. And so I think Shannon is now showing that, of course, to even more people with his platform. So I think it's a good thing. He's given us so many stories here that I gotta say it's been a good thing, especially for business, and hopefully it makes more comedians feel comfortable to speak up, to do different things, to come to our platform, tell their story, because I think the rap game has been able to thrive because they're selling the culture. And in kind of closing, that's always been my vision for Comedy Hype. Like, I've been a fan of, like, when I say WWF as a business, that they were able to get some guys that we didn't know about and turn it into a multi-billion-dollar industry by just wrestling with each other in their backyards, and they kind of like amplified in the storylines. And I'm looking at that in admiration. I'm like, damn, like how can we do that? Yeah. And I feel like that's what I've always been, my intention was for comedy, which is why I would do certain stories to really try to sell the hype of comedy, so that people in the audience who at one point never heard the backstory of these comedians can now learn about them more. Can be like, damn, I didn't know Godfrey had that going on. Yeah. I'm more invested into this. And the idea is that you have an ecosystem of comedy fans who want to come to the shows, who want to support. And if you think about Cat Williams, he's now selling out his tour, and that was due to him being real and keeping it 1,000 on an interview. And let me say this, we a business. We are a business. And I think sometimes people forget that. And I think that's a little bit of the play, the dancing that we have to do, because if I did everything out of love, everything out of like, just like do what's right, we wouldn't be here at year 15. And I hate to say that, that's our reality. And I'm constantly trying to figure out a way to balance it. But some of the stuff we do, y'all, is business too. It's business, and I think that a lot of the talents gotta respect that and be like, it's not personal. I know it might not feel good, but don't lose sight of the system that we're creating. Because Comedy Hype has created a system.
Yeah, because the thing with business is you are still dealing with people, and I know we have these conversations all the time. And sometimes when it's just, oh hey, this is busy, and I cut off the personal, sometimes it can feel. But I think we've gotten to a place where it's like our doors are open to have those conversations. I would love to see some of the comedians or people that feel a way about the platform, like. I think Earthquake challenged you.
I love Earthquake. I will respect him always for that.
Yeah, on camera during the interview, he challenged you, and there was no talk beforehand. Like he just spoke how he felt. So I really appreciated him for that as well. So I would love to see some of the people that feel a way about Comedy Hype to have those dialogues, have those conversations. Yeah. And if it's something that you feel a way about, okay, let's make the proper changes because we really could be powerful together.
And that's what I think that's the disheartening thing about it. It's like, y'all not necessarily just hurting us by like being like, oh, I don't want to go over there. Because that's what they're doing with Shannon now, some of them. When we come up, it rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I wish that it didn't have to always be that way. And I think that's because we are competing against each other.
We're like pulling each other down.
But we don't know how to like channel that.
Yeah.
And where it doesn't hurt ourselves. Because if Shannon Sharpe's platform were to end, some of the stories that we're getting now would slow down. If we were to phase out, there would be a sector of what's going on that we constantly cover. So I think we need to be smart about it. That's why I go back to the system. We gotta respect the system, but there's a way to play within the system where we don't have to destroy it because we don't own it or because it's not ours. And I think that's just unfortunate. And I hope that the ones that need to hear this are really listening to this, because I know they be watching too.
Yeah.
And that's what throws me off, because I'm like, I know you watching. I know you're appreciating what we do. We did Comedy Hype, which is dedicated to the black comedy industry.
Yeah.
And how we cover stuff is not out of because we're just mean, rude people. We're probably the coolest and most giving people that you will meet. But we do it because there is a business that's attached to it.
Yeah.
And I think our people gotta get more like in line with just business. Because if I would have moved off of love, realistically, y'all would have never heard of me. Y'all would have never seen none of this grow.
Which is unfortunate, yeah. In this instance, and we keep saying we're gonna wrap up, we're really gonna wrap up. I think Godfrey said he did try to get his people to reach out to Kountry Wayne. I'm guessing Kountry Wayne didn't respond, so I guess his next thing was to like, okay, let me speak to you on a public platform. But it is, I get it.
I think it was Wayne when he was like, I'm Big Wayne. Let me not put it, because I don't want him to be mad. He said his government name and was like, put your name out my mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it ain't gotta be all that, bro. Especially when you're telling it in the phone.
Yeah, I got you.
And I'd rather just kind of see it more like, if you really have an issue, just go.
That big.
Check them in person. Pull up, like in a
respectful way. No.
Like, yo, I didn't appreciate you saying that.
I agree.
I had to do that maybe once or twice.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there definitely needs to be, especially when it's to that point where it's like
you're mad about it.
Yeah.
But it just feels wild to me.
Yeah.
I might be being a troublemaker saying that, but it just feels wild.
Well, don't be a troublemaker.
To do that and then send it off. It just feels wild to me. It just feels wild.
I've definitely never done it, but because I know
it just feels wild.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is like marketing. Wayne, let me know. Is this one of your secrets? Because you're smart. This is how I clean it up. You're smart. Brother, you smart. Is this one of your, that's what it feels like to me, why I would do it.
Yeah, and I think all in all, like regardless of the beef and regardless of everything, man, a big shout out to Faison Love, a big shout out to Kountry Wayne, a big shout out to Godfrey, because like you said, they all are very talented and smart, and they all.
Dude, that's my Godfrey.
Is that your?
That's my Godfrey impression. Dude.
Godfrey normally does the impression.
Dude. That's all I got.
That's it.
Dude. That's my Godfrey impression.
Got it. Okay, well we gonna see how that
goes. Dude.
Before I let you get out of here with this Godfrey impression, I want to talk about some of the things that we have going on, because I think it's important to update our audience on what different ways that they can support and also benefit from what we have, because they've helped build this platform. We want to be able to give back. So what are some of the things that are coming up that people can support, show up for, and have access to?
Man, the beauty of this journey is you keep getting the opportunity to learn, to grow, to expand. So we have a couple things that I really want to focus on. We have a big announcement coming within the week or so too. So be on the lookout for that. Symphony's going to be the one to lay that up. But a couple things, we got Hype Mic on Mondays. If you're in Atlanta, if you're our audience or our viewers that live in Atlanta, we have a Hype Mic open mic show every Monday night where it's a place for comedians to work out their material, as well as we hear the public be able to vibe, be able to chill, be able to laugh. So that's something that we have every Monday night. The doors open at 8:30. Our address is 235 Walker Street. So please come by. If you see me, say what's up, let me know. I'll see you on the show. It's gonna be love for me. We got a bar. We've been having a chef cater the event. It's a good time, and we need that type of support because these next plays that we have coming up are great. What did you say?
No, I was gonna say, and that's with comedian D'Anthony
Turner, comedian that, out of Montgomery that we've been getting behind, and he's giving me I think sometimes, when you have certain comedians, they kind of water down their content, they water down their tone, but D'Anthony is giving you real stuff. He's a brother, he a black dude, real black man.
I love it.
And sometimes I think when we're in the industry, we try to clean up our act, and I think with D'Anthony, he's very authentic to himself, which makes me comfortable to want to get behind that. And then of course we have the hypemarket.com. That is a place where you can find products from us. You can find, we got some cool things happening there, but you can get services from us now. Comedy Hype, if you like some of the stuff that we're shooting, how we shoot it, if you have a vision, an idea, we have our studio that you can book, and we have the ability to shoot content for you. We're taking on projects. We're interested to hear what you have to pitch, and we can also do some photos for you as well. So I want to kind of put that out there that you can reach out to us. If you go to thehypemarket.com, that's thehypemarket.com, hit the upper right tab and be able to click services, and from there you'll be able to submit what we have going on. Go to thehypemarket.com, buy some merchandise. We plan on putting new merchandise in there. And if you're in Atlanta, start connecting with the space that we have here at the Hyper Clubhouse. Come here, get experience, get involved. Check us on Instagram if you don't, that Hyper Clubhouse, and just lock in with us, because I think the next phase of us, it's really about to be explosive. So all the comedians that I mentioned, we still want to do business with you. I hope it doesn't feel like I slighted you, but I always try to be authentic to myself, and I respect you being authentic to yourself as well. So with that being said, this has been a great time coming back.
No, I appreciate it. What was that Godfrey impression?
Dude, Godfrey, that's the best I got. Matter of fact though, because Godfrey probably didn't know I can get this animated. Because he was impersonating me when he came to the studio.
Really?
For PS Panic Room. Because y'all be clowning me with my voice, and I be sounding real monotone, and for Comedy Hype News, I'm John Alba. I be doing that because it's I try to make it serious.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do my documentary voice. And y'all be giving me a hard time, but I'm just giving you context of why it's read that way, because I want you guys to respect the platform. I want people to really value it. So I try to create a serious tone about what we do.
Thank you so much for joining me on this topic. But you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Godfrey responding to Kountry Wayne? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson. Welcome to the Garden Bar at Hype Studios in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, if you've been here, you know that we have a series of events, and when you flow through this room, you can feel the energy surrounded by beautiful green plants. Well, I have some good news for you. We are looking for official sponsors for our Garden Bar. So if you want your brand featured right here in our Garden Bar, you can email us at partnerships@comedyhype.com. And I hope to see you in our Garden Bar.